when a secret ninja organization rises.
On time as promised.
He is the only soldier. The only American.
Freeze, mother FBI!
Who is capable of taking them down. 50% commando. 50% ninja. 100% America. Eric Carlisi is the Commando Ninja.
I got good news and bad news, John.
Good news first.
They murdered your ex-wife.
No more alimony.
And they took your kid.
They murdered his ex-wife.
Ja, pepperoni, man.
I didn't order any pizza.
With extra 9mm.
They trapped his men.
Hey guys, I got a good one. You want to hear it? What do you say to a black man in a uniform?
Ninja!
And now, they took the only thing.
If you want your kid back, John, then you better cooperate, right?
He would go back to the future for. New man. New punk.
I hate punks!
No time. No ninja can stop him. Because only a commando ninja can kill her. Commando Ninja. Continue the adventure with Commando Ninja Cop, Commando Ninja's Mecha Dog, and Commando Ninja's ex-wife versus the evil Dr. Z, each sold separately.
Don't worry. I'll keep an eye on him.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to yet another episode of Rogan Radio Live from the friendly confines of Studio A on the luxurious campus of Casa La Rogan Lumberport. And as you can tell, we are down a few people tonight. That's still not going to get us down.
It'll be a good show then, right?
Well, yeah. Listen, we had a biological attack on the studios. Chad is out, Brucey's out, and Todd is out.
Like I said, good show.
Want to say hello to everyone in the house tonight. We're going to have a fantastic show for you. What are you doing?
Well, I got big shoes to fill.
Now listen, hold on. Now listen.
Oh, come on. Look at that.
Stuck on a shirt.
Yeah,
you are.
Trying to do stuff under the table.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Sorry.
It's supposed to be Todd's. I guess Todd doesn't get it.
D-Mac brought gifts tonight.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead
why
and
don't we
give that.
show that?
Erica can. Yeah, Jimmy can do that, or Erica can.
Here, hold that in.
As you know, the resident
Yeah.
politician in the
That would
house.
be the back. Can you see that?
As you see right behind Jimmy there at times, you'll see a
Good shot.
McIntyre for House of Delegates.
Yeah, your voice, your choice.
And I'll tell you what, I like the new koozies.
You like the koozies?
So much, in fact, because things change extremely fast around here. They change extremely fast. We before Michelle was in the picture, what we did was before Michelle was in the picture, we drank Miller High Life.
And now.
No live picture.
Right.
What is it now?
Is there no live picture?
No one else saying anything.
St. Jude 2 said there was no live picture.
I can see it on my screen.
Me too.
Okay.
Uh-oh. St. Jude is having an issue.
Diana Brown is watching you, D-Mac.
Yeah, that's my Aunt Diana from it, and she's in England.
No
Wow.
way.
Hello,
Yeah.
Diana.
Yeah,
How are
she's
you?
in
You like
England
having
right
some
now.
fish and chips?
Is that England?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, you know, I'm from
extension.
It's an extension because I was from the penis colony of Australia. Down in Australia, when we have boomerangs, we go after joeys like that. We can go down Sydney and we put them on a barbecue.
Don't
We do
forget-
Fosters and Fosters American
Don't forget your
Joesies.
pet Tasmanian devil.
I would love to have a Tasmanian devil. They're fantastic. Listen, as this cough, we all have it. Have you guys had
No, we don't all have it.
Listen,
We
this is
don't
what
all-
you do now. Well, let me tell you.
Welcome.
Well, you know, Mia is the one that brought it actually to the house. Then I picked it up. Then we went down last week to Webster Springs to see St. Jude 2 and Dr. Hall. And we went down to the Burgoo Bash, which is, have you ever heard of the Burgoo Bash down in Webster County?
Negative.
What are you clapping for? I mean,
She's making a song.
There are gnats all around
oh, my
me.
Sophonia, my God. But we went down there, and it seems like now St. Jude 2 has the...
Everybody's got the crud.
Yeah.
Everybody has the crud. And if you don't have it entering this building, you will when you
Well,
leave.
I'm good.
No one
because-
touched me.
I'm good
No one
because
touched me.
Colt had strep a week and a half ago. Kennedy had it, and she had the croup. So
What is that?
the croup?
That's kind of
I've never even...
Oh, you had that back in the day.
Back in our days.
I've been in many croups, but I don't know what that exactly means.
I think you have a sound effect to
Is
that,
that
don't
like
you,
the
Jimmy?
fish? Is that the fish we eat when we go on vacation? The grouper?
Last time
The
when
grouper.
Todd was here.
No.
It could very well be. No,
The croup is it's a really it's kind of like it's a real bad cough. It's a respiratory infection. It's real deep sound, kind of like a baby seal.
That's kind of
Yeah, something like that.
Thanks, Jimmy.
sort of like that. But we've been coughing up like crazy. We've been doing all kinds of crazy things.
Listen,
And,
we laid into bed the other night. We were getting ready to go to sleep. We laid in bed, and it was just like a harmony of sneezes and coughs throughout the whole entire household.
Harmony.
Oh, it
It
was
was
like
a harmony.
that's where we met is on Harmony.
E-Harmony?
Yeah,
Coughing and
Harmony.com.
I thought it was farmers only.
Actually, it was Tinder.
Farmers only. Well, I thought it was Christian Mingles.
Whatever it was, I don't know. I just paid for all those sites, and then I was just lucky enough for somebody to get a reply. It was fantastic. No, but anyway, so we went down to Webster Springs, and it seems like now St. Jude 2 has the cough.
She's got the crud from us.
And along
God
with
love her.
Michelle has it, and Erica is sort of, she's blaming it on allergies, and you say you don't have it yet?
I'm better.
But I'll tell you what, you have it for daggone 10 days. I mean, I've had it, and I've been coughing up lungs. I mean,
Well, I mean,
literally.
I think the cough will hang on till next July, but I'm better.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I'm better.
Speaking of St. Jude 2, it is a happy birthday day.
All right.
Day.
And you know what? We also celebrated another birthday today.
We did.
Our very own director, he turns 50 years old over
Oh,
on
my
Wednesday. I know. You would never know by looking at him. You'd never looking at them. So we're going to start out the show right now. Not so much mourning the fact that we don't have Chad Puccio from Monongah, or we have Bruce Takahashi from Tokyo, Japan, or Todd Beck from wherever Todd came from.
But we got the AARP candidate.
And I'm already getting it in the mail. Thank you very much.
You know what? Hey, Al, listen, I've got that stuff. I was half tempted in the ass to go ahead and fill one of those forms out just so I could get one of those cool bags to put my diapers in. Because listen, that was great. Speaking of that, real quick before we sing Happy Birthday to You and St. Jude too. The other night. What was that look for?
I'll never know what the other night meant.
Which one?
Listen, I love to tell stories, and when I get that look, I don't know if she means don't tell this story or
Well, I don't know
tell
what
the story.
That's why I'm looking.
So, I have this bad tendency every now and again. I just pick up a coffee cup or something, and I'll just drop it for whatever reason. So it hasn't been probably say 4 months ago. I went because I always take a glass of tea with me, a cup of tea with me to bed. And I'll wake up throughout the middle of the night. Not only, I drink tea.
You know what you're setting yourself up for.
Yeah.
Do you want to continue?
Yeah, I'm absolutely going to. There's no. So anyhow, a few months ago, I picked this thing up and I just drop it for whatever reason. I just picked it up and I don't know what happened, but I picked it and tea went all over the dresser drawers. I mean, it went everywhere behind. So it's like midnight and I'm raising hell because I was like, okay, great. And then I had, it wasn't Michelle's fault, but I had to wake her up to help me clean it up.
And he wonders why he gets ants.
Yeah, exactly.
You just dropped an ant bomb.
yeah, no kidding. So the other night, this was just a few nights ago, actually, in the middle of the night, I go to get a glass of tea, and I was sitting on the bed for whatever reason, and Michelle wakes up, and she goes, Chuck, the bed is completely wet. This was Wednesday? It must have been Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. So she goes, the bed is completely soaked. And I'm like, babe, it's because I was sitting there. You don't remember? I was sitting there on the edge of the bed trying to drink some tea like I do every single night.
It was not Wednesday. It was
whatever night it was.
Sunday, I think. It was
one
Sunday.
of those days.
It was Sunday.
Whatever night it was.
Because we were off Monday.
Ended in a
Okay,
Y.
it could have been.
Yeah.
It could have very well been. I don't know.
I know
And it was like, okay, well, I was trying to take some tea, trying to drink some tea, and it just kind of once again fell out of my hands for whatever
Do
reason.
you know how, like, when you tell a story so many times, you just actually start believing it?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not what happened.
What happened?
Chuck is convinced he spilled
I spilled
a whole
tea.
cup of tea.
Did you smell it?
Do you know the real story?
I know the real story.
Well, enlighten us.
Tell the real story then if
Enlighten
you
us.
think you know what you're talking about. Tell me what the real story is because this has never happened before.
That's never happened before.
Whatever story you're about to tell. So there has to be some
Listen,
sort
I'm
of a
sure his
precedent.
bed's been wet from a lot of different reasons. But
Give
tell
one.
us this
Well,
one.
let's all think of reasons a bed can be wet in the middle of the night.
Drop the glass of tea.
Drop the
Okay.
glass of tea was one.
Or
yeah.
what else? What
Spilled
else?
your beer.
Spill could have been that. Would have
Pissed
been
your
enough.
bed.
Okay.
Pissed
Water
the bed.
leak.
Okay, water leak. Okay, we got 4 options here.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's all vote.
Waterbed
You
broke.
thought that you were laying next to a really good-looking dude.
Oh Lord.
Okay, maybe.
What?
But that was not. You already gave it to me, babe.
I'm going to give it to you again in the form of thunder and lightning.
Okay, let's vote why Chuck's bed was wet Sunday night.
Okay, what do you think that? We'll just go ahead and let every
Dropped a glass of tea.
drop
like
the
he
glass
said.
of tea like I said.
B, spilled his beer.
Spilled a beer, which I wasn't drinking any beer, so that's an automatic no.
C, pissed the bed.
Or C,
That's
pissed
gotta
the
be
bed.
C.
Or D, wait, A, B, C, D.
Yeah, water leak.
Water leak.
Or
Yeah.
D, I was laying
Oh,
next
it
to
was
a
a
really
water
hot chick.
Yeah.
Since I've seen your bed, yes, I have. And it's not a water bed.
That's not a water bed.
So water leaks out.
Water leaks out. I'd
Okay, we're down
say
to 3.
C. I'd say you peed
you
your
say I
pants.
peed the bed?
You peed your pants.
Okay, anyway, moving on. So we have, I spilled tea. And
I say we let everybody vote.
sticking sore.
Everybody that's watching live, let's
listen,
let's
when you're
go.
I think
when
so,
you're almost
too.
48 years old, and there are things that happen.
Here we go. With
You know,
the
there
age
are
card.
things that happen. You
Pull
can be
the age card,
You can
babe.
be. There's certain things you just don't trust, and there's certain things you just don't know not to trust.
This isn't
and at
about
this
your
age-
ED, is it?
Huh?
This isn't about your ED, right? The age thing.
What's ED?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you're telling us there's certain things that are
You
happening.
got me on that one, buddy. But we have 2 birthdays we're celebrating this
Oh,
week.
and the original gangster,
You
as he
started
put
the
it,
story.
Donnie Everett.
Donnie Everett's on
Everett's
here from
birthday.
D.C.
Yeah,
the original gangster.
You know what? And Donnie said we can celebrate a little here today because
Gloria Mano's going to see.
yeah, there's a lot of C's, by the way.
Yeah.
But Donnie
hell with
Everett's
y'all.
going to be finishing up his last academic research paper for his professional education career.
Whoa, fantastic,
Yeah, good
Donnie.
job, Donnie. Way to
Donnie's a
go.
pretty smart dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
And you said Gloria was on here. Congratulations to
Yep.
Gloria Mano and
Oh,
Gerald
Gloria
for
and
getting
Gerald.
engaged.
Yay!
You know, we've had a lot of big news around here in our
We
bubbles.
have had big news.
Gloria
in
and
our
Gerald,
bubble.
they're now engaged.
Yes.
We have
There's
we
gonna
have
be a
recently we
wedding.
had a wedding with Darren and Cindy over there. How funny is that? We have Chuck.
Why is
Pissing
that
the
funny?
Bed.
Wait,
Because
wait.
it's
Why is
funny
that
you got
funny?
married.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
There's,
why is it funny?
there's I was talking about me. Yeah. And the birthdays. It was, yeah. No kidding,
Wait,
right?
I missed something.
No, I didn't even realize what I was saying, and Cindy called me out on it because she's listening. She's too astute. You guys think I really pissed the bed? Really?
Well, I can tell
Everybody
you.
in the crowd thinks you do
That-
too, Erica.
I say that you
was
spilled
it-
your tea,
Thank you, D.
You're welcome.
Wait.
but it looks like everybody else
He
is
just
gone
wants
with
votes.
C.
Yeah, right.
I think it's
He
C.
knows we're registered voters.
Why do you think?
Like,
Yeah.
Why do you think it's
I
C?
think it's C, but you guys forgot the option that Kesha could have peed on.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. It could have been cat pee.
No, it was way too much.
No, you
for
would have
that.
smelled it. It's a lot
Okay.
stronger.
I smelled it.
Moving on.
Oh, you put your nose down to his pee?
Moving on. Moving on. We have 2 birthdays. Once again, St. Jude 2 today. She's celebrating her birthday. And your mom is fantastic, by the way. St. Jude 2. If you've ever
Yeah,
met
she
Judy
is.
Hall down in Webster, she is
has the
absolutely fantastic.
She has the crud, the croup.
The crew.
Oh,
She has the
man.
croup.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
because-
you've got some people on your side. Some people are saying A.
Who said that? Because I love them.
Megan.
Megan?
Megan?
It was probably Colt, to be honest with you.
Okay, Colt, $10,000 to you, my friend.
Yeah, my
And
Aunt
Diana Brown.
And Diana from England over there.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I'm from Australia and the penis colony down there.
Oh my gosh.
$10,000 to you, Diana.
Yes.
You don't even have $10,000 to give.
Bruce said you were making out with the bed while...
Not since I met your mom.
Bruce said you were making out with the bed while having a dream.
Bruce said I was making.
Out with the bed.
You know what, Bruce? Really, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah.
We practiced this.
Yeah.
I knew that was going to happen. Anyway, we're going to sing happy birthday. We're going to sing happy birthday to not only the director. Birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, St. Jude 2 and Darren.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Yeah.
Yay.
Fantastic. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
A couple other things. We had we talked about the last time we were in the studio. We had Cindy in, and we were talking about the honor flight. And just so what?
Just see the pictures now. They come up on the screen for the happy birthday, and there's like your mom, and then you got Mr. Gladiator.
Yeah. That was great.
Diversity.
We got
So,
her.
so tell me
We're a
about.
diverse
So tell me
crowd.
what's the update when it comes to the honor flight? Because we talked about that last week. Once again, there's a couple hundred. There's a couple hundred of people going there.
Right. There are 100 veterans going and 100 guardians going. And it's next Saturday, and all the money was raised that we needed.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Rogan
Yeah.
Radio fans.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yay.
There was
Thank you,
a lot of
guys.
money donated because of the show was it last Sunday?
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But all the money was raised, and we're good to go for Saturday.
The
That is
flight
awesome.
is on.
That's awesome. Let's hope for good weather because
Yay.
this daggone hurricane. Have you been keeping up on that thing?
Yeah.
Oh, my
Listen, down.
goodness.
It looks like the upper part of South Carolina and North Carolina are going to get hit pretty good with all that.
Yeah.
Dude, if it lands as a 4, full speed 4 like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Well, I got some information on that said hurricane.
Okay.
Yeah,
T-Mac.
yeah, right. So it just got upgraded to hurricane status there just a little bit ago, and it's been intensifying and gaining strength pretty rapidly. So it looks like it's going to strike the East Coast likely anywhere between Thursday and Saturday.
Awesome.
So I'm going to make a prediction of landfall.
Okay.
Just to see,
Okay.
because I'm
Where-
definitely not a meteorologist.
Let's all vote. What are you going to win?
Where do you think it's going to hit?
I'll give you a McIntyre House of Delegates
Koozie?
koozie.
All right, that's even better.
Vote for us.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
a real winner.
I have a feeling it's going to hit in between Ocean Isle Beach and Sunset Beach.
I'm not even sure I know where that is.
Yeah, I don't even know.
It's like right
Yeah.
on the South Carolina North Carolina border.
Right in there. Right in there, huh?
That's my guess.
Oh, my.
So
There-
not picking one state or the other. We'll just
Well,
take
no,
them
it's-
both out.
Yeah, it's
Well, in
yeah.
case he runs for president, he doesn't want to be,
Yeah, he doesn't want to.
Right.
But you know, I'm thinking somewhere. I'm sort of with you. I'm thinking somewhere between Florida and Maine. It's going to be. That's my
I think
prediction.
so too.
There's a chance
with
that it'll
Chuck.
go out to sea, but
There's a very good.
not
But
real
listen,
good
I've
chance.
been watching this thing, and the scary part about it is not only the surge and things like that. Like we've seen these hurricanes before, and what was crazy to me is at the beginning of the year they said that this was going to be a very dead season as far as hurricanes go, and just in the last couple of weeks, I don't know what happens, and the El Rakan out there on the West Coast that they always blame, whatever that storm. I used to never hear about the El Rakan weather phenomenon, but then all of a sudden I'm starting to hear this where we're going to have dry. And I hear this like every 2 or 3 years now, and I'm like, I've never heard about that before in my life.
He reminds me of Archie
El
Bunker.
Nino.
When Archie Bunker would
Exactly.
say the wrong
Is it El Nino?
Yeah,
Is
El
it
Nino.
El Nino. Okay, the El Nino. I was alive for 45 years, and I never heard Jim Cantor on the Weather Channel say anything. What are you
What
doing?
what about the Santa Maria winds?
He's dirty.
I was like, that's what I'm saying. I've never heard of that stuff, and all of a
Santa
sudden they're
Ana
coming out with this stuff. But anyhow, then all of a sudden in the last few weeks, something has happened to where all this, all of a sudden the Atlantic is building up,
Yeah.
and we're going to have all these storms and stuff like that. Now the scary part for us is, if that thing comes up the coast and how hurricanes run counterclockwise, we're going to get in that whip, that upper like
Right.
that 11 o'clock kind of whip of that clock. And wherever that thing hits, we're going to be, it's going to be picking up water on this side
We're
and
already saturated.
just
Right.
dumping it where we were at, and
Yeah.
it's going to be scary.
There's
won't
one
be
form
good.
right behind it too.
Yeah.
I
Second
know.
one.
Well, the thing is, like we've already planned a trip to the Caribbean in October, but we took out all the insurance
Very good.
that we could take on it because we have up to 24 hours before our flight to cancel. And Chuck and I have a plan B, and the plan B is pull out the money and head to Vegas.
Well,
That's our
right.
plan B.
Now the coolest thing about it is you can buy insurance now for terrorists. Did you know that?
no.
Yeah, you can actually
Huh?
you can pay $50 and
First
carry a
attacking
gun
you?
with you.
Are you serious?
It's terrorist insurance.
No.
No.
No. I was like, it's pretty
I was
crazy.
like,
Come on.
what?
Who's on here with us? Give us some shout outs.
We got Timmy Southern,
What's up, Tim?
Craig and Craig Holt, and we got Lisa Holt,
Okay.
Hello, Craig and Lisa. Hello, AJ. What's up, Roger? What's up, baby?
Todd Hall,
I
Megan
see
Walker.
Todd Beck on there too.
Roger Luchuk, Crystal Lewis.
Crystal Lewis. Daggone it. I would talk to Crystal Lewis yesterday down the DG's.
Yeah.
You see Crystal.
And I was going to go ahead and bring the bandana that she won like 3 years ago. I was actually going to finally take that down to her. Crystal, tell me when you work again, and I'll come down
We
and
are
I'll drop that
so.
off.
We still owe Heather
It's
Bargo
a-
a T-shirt. We
We
are
have
so
Heather
mad
Bargo
about
a
that
T-shirt
stuff.
too.
It's amazing that people even still watch the show.
My mom's watching now.
Uh-oh.
Sandy's in the house.
Well, hey, you won something too. We'll get it to you one of these years.
Hey, Sandy.
She won a trip to SeaWorld.
The reason we always like to give Sandy a little bit of hell is because she never took D-Mac up to SeaWorld.
Never did.
Yeah.
Man alive.
Poor D-Mac.
Now it's out of business.
Yeah, really. It is.
Snap!
Now, I tell you what. Have you noticed this too? Keeping on the weather thing. Have you noticed
Yeah.
how it seems like right now? It wasn't just a few weeks ago. We were burning hot in here with an air conditioner on. Tonight we're wearing hoodies, and it seems like winter or fall is coming way early. It seemed like spring started very late, and now all of a sudden it seems like it's starting to. It's almost like Halloween. We could have trick or treat right now, and it would be perfect actually.
Well, you can take that for the next couple of days, and we're going right back up in the 80s, buddy.
Is it?
I'm
Right.
going to flip flop a little
No,
bit here.
But
we did see. Now I don't know because I'm not a hunter and I'm not a farmer. I'm nothing of that, so I don't really know how the world works. But we did see.
What are you?
so what are you?
We were in Pittsburgh, out of all places, and saw a deer that got hit on the side of the road, and it was a buck,
Yeah.
but it already had like the velvet on its
Yeah.
on its spikes already. And I'm thinking, does that happen right now?
Yeah,
Is
they
that-
have
Yeah,
for a while.
they've had the velvet
Yeah.
for a while now.
Okay.
And then they'll start rubbing it off, and it'll start falling off and all that crap.
Is that what happened to your head there? You
Yeah.
start rubbing on it there?
Yeah, Megan did that.
Grass doesn't grow on a
Is she
playground.
trying to
Remember
make a
that.
wish?
She
Like
was
the
trying.
genie?
It didn't work very well.
That's why D-Mac has these big long ears too.
Yeah, that's right. 100%.
But yeah, so I
Lord.
thought. But you were talking to somebody just the other day over at the VA.
I have a few patients actually that are farmers. Like they are legit
We
farmers.
are farmers.
Dun,
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 dun.
dun. So anyway, so I'm talking to them, and they said that winter is coming early this year. Be
Like Game of
prepared.
Thrones,
They're already
winter's coming.
Yep, it is coming. It is coming, and
So-
they're already getting their gardens done for the summer. And they said that the first frost should be, and I've heard this from a few, should be the end of September, beginning of October. And we are going to have winter a month early this year.
Really?
Does that mean
Yes.
spring will come a month early?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't hear about that. I just heard about the winter part. So be prepared.
Well, you know what?
We're all winners.
Yeah.
We're all winners.
And I was just thinking, "Mum's the word," because I want to get my mums
Bam.
out.
That's old Robert Bell down at the garden center there on Meadowbrook
Yeah,
Road, by
they
the
have
way. He already
mums.
has the
I want to
pumpkins.
get my mums out.
You know how West Virginians celebrate Halloween, by the way? We're all West Virginians except for Jimmy. Do you
Reese
know
cups.
pumpkin?
Oh my gosh.
Dun-dun-dun.
He'll be here all
Wait,
week,
I
folks.
don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Tell me what happened. What happened with the? We were watching a little bit of football today. You guys still
Pumpkins?
watching football?
Oh, yeah.
By chance?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
Inbreeding.
Did I'll write it for you, babe.
I don't.
What did the Pittsburgh Steelers do today?
They tied.
They tied.
And that's they
The
tied.
Turds, Cleveland Turds. Yeah, they
They,
tied.
what do you mean tied?
Okay.
Oh.
So they had.
What do you?
Well, I mean, I didn't know you could tie. You can
T-I-E,
actually tie in the
tied.
NFL.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who tied?
When did that
The
start?
Steelers.
Dude,
What?
for like the last
I don't know.
forever.
So
Come
they,
on.
do they
Okay,
each,
hold on.
Wait.
Tell me how this works.
You go to overtime and nobody scores,
Yeah.
and you tie.
But I thought
the
you were
end of the
allowed up to
15-minute
3
period.
overtime. You're not
No, it's
allowed.
only
you get
10
one
minutes now.
period.
yeah, one. You get
So
one.
what happens at the end of the year when you have like the
No,
playoffs?
no.
No,
You
the
don't tie
playoffs
it.
is different. You don't
Yeah.
time playoffs.
So who
No.
gets-
What I'm saying is when you're trying to figure out who's going to be in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah,
And
that-
wild cards, and then you have this
well,
tie.
yeah, well, you're tied.
Well,
It
that
affects
tie-
your
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
That tie comes off of your winning percentage. Your winning.
So they don't even
winning-loss
count that as a
percentage.
game. They should have never
Exactly.
even played that.
Yeah.
stat.
Yep, exactly.
Like if
they're
you're
one
9
game
and
down
7.
from everybody else.
So if
Yeah.
I went up there and paid like $6,000 to watch this game today,
Yeah.
or where did they play at today?
Cleveland.
In Cleveland. Oh well, I wouldn't go to the Cleveland. But say if I was in Pittsburgh and I spent $6,000 because it's not cheap to go to a football game, and I don't even see a winner of the game.
Well,
I mean, you know what? I'm going to be a little pissed, to
let
be
me
quite
ex-
honest
here-
with you.
Here's what's crazy.
I'm going to be more pissed than everybody burning Nikes right now because of
He'll be
college.
more pissed than he was Sunday night when the bed was wet.
Well,
I
don't-
wasn't that
Just
pissed, to be
Yeah, I
quite
was
honest
gonna
with you.
say, he spilled
Oh,
some tea.
pissed. Yeah, that's what she said.
So the Steelers were up. They had a 14-point lead going into 8 minutes ago in the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Roethlisberger had 2 more turnovers.
Dude, he just.
He had a
So he
bad
was like
game.
he was worthless burger on this
They
game.
should have lost the game. to be
They
honest.
should have. They had 6 turnovers.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
correct.
So
His teenage girlfriends
What's
must
up,
not
Steve
have been
Chevron?
texting him this week.
yeah.
I don't know. Poor
Hello,
guy.
Scott Swagger.
Then they missed a field goal. They missed a
Yeah,
missed
to
a
win
field
it,
goal to win it.
almost.
And then Cleveland gets the ball back, or Pittsburgh gets the ball back. They hold them. Pittsburgh gets the ball back. Then they turn the ball over again on a fumble interception type deal. And then with 8 seconds to go, Cleveland, who hasn't won a game in since 1930,
Right,
it
right.
seems like they had a field goal blocked.
Blocked,
with
yeah.
like 3 seconds. to
Good
go.
Lord. I didn't know you could tie in an NFL
Yeah,
game.
yeah, it doesn't happen very often. It happened last year. A couple
Well,
times.
Titans.
Neither did who was that? Donovan McNabb or one of them back in the day. Remember the Eagles?
Oh, yeah.
Remember he's like, I didn't know you could
I didn't even know
tie.
you could tie. Yeah, because he
tried.
he ran out of bounds instead of going. Yeah. He could have scored and won the game, and he went out of bounds. And they're like, "What are you doing?"
I mean, but are you guys out there? Are you still watching the NFL? I mean, is it something you still watch? Like, see, now I tell you what. Now,
I don't
last
have cable anymore.
I lost. I lost
my
my.
dad's going to say no. I'm just
I lost
waiting.
my interest in Winston Cup racing or NASCAR a long time ago.
Long time
and then we went down to, like I said, Webster Springs talking to Jack. And so he was telling me about last week they were going to have the race down in Darlington, but they were going to use all the old collar schemes. Which I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch that because that's going to kind of bring me old school. Because NASCAR, I think, messed up because they started making all the cars the same. They started making it two, and they started taking the tracks out of their markets. I mean, there was a
they
reason.
got away from the stock part of stock cars.
That and they lost. They started putting because they got big and they got big fast. And they wanted to make as much money. Bruton Smith, down in Charlotte, and he all of a sudden bought Atlanta and all these other places you could say also. So then you had these cookie cutter tracks. But one thing that really brought people to NASCAR was because it was a niche. It was that southeast sort of thing. And then when they started going to nothing against any of the markets they went to, but if you go out to Vegas or it's like okay, you're losing that. You're losing what brought people there in the first place. I mean, now granted, you're taking the race to them. But the danger is you can see when you are taking the race to them and they don't want to go, you have a bunch of empty seats, and then all of a sudden that affects your TV where everybody anywhere can watch it on TV.
Sure.
Yeah. So if you keep it down in the South, keep your fan base pretty strong, it looks like it's the greatest thing since popcorn.
Yeah.
Just out of perception. Perception is reality.
Yeah. The only race I've been to is in Charlotte. Now, of course, Megan and the kids have went to Bristol, Charlotte, Las Vegas, whatever. But I thought it was pretty cool.
Listen, I watched that thing last Sunday, and I tell you what, I fell back in love with it. I was like, this is fantastic.
Last Sunday. Yeah. Oh, the same night that the tea spilled in the bed. Yeah. It was,
somebody's radiator was leaking.
It just happened to be.
That's what happened.
Yeah. It's a pure coincidence that there was a race on with
Donica was driving and she parked the car.
Donica. See, pure. You are so horrible with names.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, Donica Patrick.
So pure coincidence.
Yep. That was her name, right?
Same night.
Yeah, it was Donica.
What was it?
It was Donica.
No, seriously, what the hell was her name?
Danica.
Danica.
Same thing.
Right?
Tomato.
Same as El Recon in the weather. I mean,
what's up, Kevin Fowler? Kevin Fowler, we saw a post on him the other day. Somebody actually went up and stole a truck.
Yeah. What's up with that?
I don't know. They found it down in Charleston.
Oh, did they find it?
Yeah. They didn't get the person, but because of their wonderful graphics on their cameras.
Did it happen in the middle of the day?
I have no idea.
What was
I
it?
think it was like. I think I remember seeing it was like at 7:30 in the evening. It was a sold vehicle that someone was ready to pick up. And
oh wow!
Now speaking of trucks, one of our one of our beloved friends, co-host of the show,
so sad.
Jimmy Wisniewski, he went out and bought a new Chevy truck.
He did.
Listen, this is a nice truck, by the way, and I was impressed. He pulls into this thing and 100 miles an hour like he normally does. Loud exhaust, playing some kind of Public Enemy or something on the radio. He was beatboxing along.
It's so nice.
And I was like, wow. It would be nice to be able to have enough money to buy a truck like that.
Wouldn't it though, babe?
So then I go around today. Jimmy pulls in like he always does. Because normally he pulls out, and today he pulled in. And I go out and I say, dang it, that's a nice truck, buddy. That is a really nice truck, Jimmy. And he had this frown on his face. And I'm thinking, why does Jimmy have a frown on his face? What could be possibly wrong with you, Jimmy? And then I looked to the other side, and what I saw was damage. A guy that has had all kinds of vehicle training.
And everything going for him.
He could drive a car better than Evel Knievel.
He can.
But somehow his brand new truck hit a chain link fence post.
And he fought with that post.
Fought with it.
He fought. He tried to save his truck. He tried.
He did. But it didn't work. And Jimmy cried.
I did.
And then he found out the insurance agent said $2,000.
And he continues to cry.
I do.
Well, I get it.
I mean,
how in the world can a guy that has as much training as you have in a vehicle doing crazy shit? I mean, crazy stuff. You can even fly vehicles on the battlefield game, and that's just pert near impossible.
Yeah.
But somehow you get this truck, Jimmy, this brand new truck, and you put it into a fence.
We got to take
what happens when your mind is occupied and you're backing up and not looking the way you should be. This music's gonna make me cry.
So seriously, what happened there? Give us the story. What happened there?
Backing up to turn around, and just doesn't matter how good you are, and you're looking backwards, not paying attention. You got your mind on other stuff, and
bang!
Yep,
Boy,
left
listen.
front fender. I was like,
it
never happens.
Bill Layton said that should buff right out.
Yeah,
probably.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened right there.
Oh my goodness, your dad's got his truck hit on Saturday.
Saturday.
What?
I just talked to them today. They didn't mention anything about that.
Listen, that
not good.
That done drives me. Listen, that's why I park so far away from civilization.
Walmart or Lowe's, they were going after the Roku stick to watch the WVU game, which WVU. Listen. Okay.
Now, did you have? Okay,
Listen,
first.
that's just brought up.
Okay, well let me go ahead and set the stage here. What happened was there was a certain way that you could not watch the WVU game unless you.
I am on WVU fan mail emails.
Okay.
They
win yesterday?
emailed me.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They emailed me.
So what they do was, for whatever reason, yesterday they must not had a game, a major network pick them up. So they went on like this AT&T Sportscast, whatever
Root
it was.
Sports,
Root
Pittsburgh.
Sports.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
And so they sent this thing out saying that in certain markets that you can watch it. You're not going to be able to see it on the TV, but you will be able to watch it if you go to WVUsports.com, or there's a game day app or something that they have.
Yeah. We watched
Or-
it on TV.
Or if you have, there's certain markets,
okay,
certain
okay,
markets.
okay.
And if you have a Roku, you can go ahead and get just search for WVU or no, it was Mountaineer TV, and then it'll come up. So that's what we did, and
Right.
then so
that's what we and my parents did not have the channel. They weren't able to get the channel. So Chuck said yesterday morning, because mind you, the nearest Walmart to my parents is an hour one way. So they have to go an hour there to Walmart
Out
and
to
an hour
Flatwoods.
back.
Yeah.
Flatwoods or Somersville.
See, they're not in
either
the
way.
Pittsburgh market. That's why they don't get it.
Right. But
Yeah.
anyways, so we told them, go buy a Roku. What is that how you say it?
a Roku,
A Roku.
Soku,
It's all
Pee
the
in the
same.
bed,
Listen, if
whatever.
Chuck can say
Rico.
whatever he says.
Yeah.
you can say
Rico.
whatever.
They
Go
went and bought
buy
a Rico.
a Rico Iglesias Fire Stick thing, and then you'll be able to get the game.
His fire stick thing. I'm not even going to comment on
Listen,
that.
You
instead
said
buy
I could
those at
say anything
Walmart.
I wanted to say.
instead of it's going to be like this, Rico. Yes, how can I help you? Instead of like Alexa,
Yeah.
can you tell me the weather? Yes, I can tell you it's hot and sticky.
Ooh.
Actually, would you like to be my hero?
Hey, that is another thing. Not getting off track, but real quick.
Oh,
Why is Alexa a female? Maybe I want a male in my house.
Listen,
And
you have a
maybe-
male in your house, Michelle. I'm sitting
No.
right here.
Maybe I want to say, Rico, can you turn on the lights? And he'll say, yes, baby.
Or maybe you could say, Chuck, will you turn on the lights? And I'll be like,
Well,
I would, but I don't like what I see when the lights come on.
Oh, you better
That is
leave
a
now,
total
dude.
lie. Not just being a smart ass.
I'll turn down the lights, baby.
That is a total lie, too, by the way. I
Didn't
love
we,
it.
Okay.
we had something like that before,
Anyways.
where instead of Alexa, it was like some
Alex.
smooth talking guy. It was, you remember that? We had that little skit. It was like, hey, baby.
anyways, bed pisser, I got a story to tell. So anyways, so then they tell us, so my parents run to Somersville Walmart because we are diehards,
Yeah.
diehard Mountaineer fans. We grew up that way. We had season tickets all growing up. I've been in a Mountaineer Stadium since I was 2. So we're diehards. So my parents fly to Somersville Saturday, get this Rico.
They didn't
Suave.
drive.
Rico Suave.
Whatever.
Oh,
And
they
they-
get Rico Suave.
And they fly back and they hook it up and we hook ours up and we're waiting on the game. And you can hear the game, but you can't see the game. So all this time goes by and it was blacked out. And I'm
And it-
like,
and it kept
why
saying-
did they send? I mean, it was a blackout game, but it was sent to the fans. This is the way that you can
Well, that's
watch
pretty
the
crazy.
game.
That is a big.
Yeah.
I mean, there was 58. I was there. It was 58,000 people there.
And they
So I
black
don't know
out
why
the
they blacked
game.
it out.
Yeah.
But I tell you what,
Especially after sending an email to all the fans saying this is
This
the way
is
that
an
you can
this
watch
very
the
well
game.
could send me to prison.
Okay.
No, I would. I would not.
I'll tell you
We
after
don't
the
need.
show.
Yeah,
Okay.
after-
Oh, no, because that's right. Because
No,
then the next thing you know, we'll be
no,
barraged with
no,
all
no,
that stuff.
no,
But we
no.
worked it out. It worked out
Later,
just fine.
and
Okay.
it worked. It all worked out.
There is a reason why all this stuff is in this room.
Yes.
And you can work amazing things with all this stuff in this particular room.
We did.
You could even have somebody that doesn't get something somewhere, something to watch.
Yes.
Strangely enough.
Makes
out
Okay,
there.
perfectly
so
good
let's
sense.
move on.
Moving
Okay.
on.
Moving on. Moving on.
That is fantastic. Hey, want to send a special shout out there to Parker. Listen, Parker has opened up his new restaurant out there. It's called Fat Daddy's.
Yeah.
Fat Daddy.
Yeah, and he's having a good time out there. So go ahead and check out.
What about emojis?
Oh yeah,
Look at
let's
some
do some
emojis.
emojis. I do like the emojis.
I like emojis.
But you're going to see the Parker stuff. He's going to have something really big actually coming up here very, very soon. It's at Fat Daddy September 14th, which is going to be this Friday?
The 14th.
Friday.
Yeah.
Friday. Starts at 9 p.m. It's Nick and Gerald.
Hey, your Aunt Kay just posted there's something wrong with Michelle's mic, and I would just like to tell her that's when Chuck turns me off.
Oh,
That's when you turn my mic off.
Chuck turns you off.
Did I turn you off?
So she said there's something wrong with Michelle's mic. And that's when I say something he doesn't approve of, I get turned off. This has been since...
Listen, you get turned off every time I say something, period.
I wasn't going to say it.
Listen, can anybody hear Michelle? Listen, Jimmy, find me some crickets.
Listen,
That's D-Mac, babe.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of things going on behind the scene. Listen, this is the first time you've ever sat in the... Oh, I see what she's doing. See what she's doing. She's acting like a turtle.
Oh, she's acting like
No, turn me up here for a minute. Turn this up.
Hit that on there.
I got it. Oh, Lord.
I don't know what's going on. Listen, who said that?
She's like, I don't know.
Listen, I have never turned you down.
Aunt Kay.
Randy Scott said there was no problem with her mic.
Aunt Kay said there's
Because
something
Randy
wrong
Scott
with
doesn't
Michelle's
lie.
mic.
Randy Scott does not lie.
No, he doesn't.
Well, Aunt Kay
Todd
doesn't
Beck says he
either.
got a big fat daddy for you right here.
Oh.
And you're quite welcome, Jack. Hope to see you soon. Dr. Jack, he has this tonic that'll make you feel better.
Like how he
that.
says no problem with her
Yep.
Mike, M-I-K-E. So who's Mike?
Yeah. What? Randy? You know something I don't know?
Maybe that could be my new Alexa.
Let's try it. Who's going to do this? Who's
Do
going to
what?
be? Who's going to be Mike?
Mike.
You can. You got the voice.
Hold on. Let's call Todd up.
What's up?
Call Todd up. Todd, we're
back.
going to call you. Call him
Todd
up.
back.
Call Todd up.
Todd back.
Todd's
Todd
going to
back.
be.
He's
Todd's going to
been
be your
way
Mike.
too relaxed. Like I'm having.
Find me. I need a sound effect that
I'm
sounds like
having trouble
Alexa.
filling his shoes anyway, so he needs to chime in.
You call him on Messenger?
I guess that wouldn't be it, would it? Liar.
Let's see. We're going to go ahead and call Todd back up because we're going to try something. Randy Scott said something that there was nothing wrong with your mic. Instead of M-I-C,
Yeah.
M-I-K-E.
Now he says M-I-C. He's trying to cover his tracks.
Well, we're going to find out. We should have called Randy up. But we're going to call Randy up next.
Yeah, see what's going on in Florida.
Yes. Todd's watching, so he's not going to pick
I
up
think it's
right
raining
away.
according to
Todd
the
back.
game today.
Hey, listen.
Captain.
Misophonia. Listen, man. How's your mom doing, first of all?
We're sitting here visiting, having a real nice time.
Well, listen,
Thanks,
we're going to
man.
interrupt you for a second.
So nice that he's watching us instead of visiting with her.
Yeah,
In
right?
other words, Chuck's like, good for you. Okay,
No,
back to the
This
show.
is a family thing. We're all watching. It's a family thing, and we're all watching, and it's a great time. We even got the grandbaby in here.
Awesome.
Okay, now listen. First of all, Randy Scott down in Florida, down in Daytona, Florida, he said there was
we're on
something
the-
wrong
we're on
with
the road.
Michelle's mic, M-I-K-E. Now, for all intents and purposes, your name right now is Mike, and you're going to act like Alexa, all right? But except you're going to be Mike, right?
Okay.
You understand? So Michelle's going to say you're going to be her personal assistant in the house. So you just play along. We're going to see how it works.
And I'm just going to tell you the date. I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell Alexa every day. Okay?
Okay, can I have an English accent?
Where's that phone at, by the way?
Have a what?
You have it up your ass?
No, I
Sounds
don't
like
have
he's
it
in the
up my ass.
bathtub. Maybe he peed to bed.
Sounds like he's got his head buried.
Okay,
in the
ready? Ready?
Hello. Hello.
Okay, just say hello, Mike, and we're going to move on.
Okay. Mike.
Hey, Michelle.
Mike. Well, Alexa always answers me.
Hello, Michelle. How are you?
Turn on the lights.
All right, I'll turn the lights on for you right now. Click. Lights are on.
Wouldn't this be awesome? Listen. Mike.
Hello, Michelle.
Turn on the TV.
Boom. There you go. CNN.
Mike. Turn on Netflix.
Netflix. All right. Bang. There you go.
Mike.
Orange is the New Black. Season 2.
Load the latest episode of Shameless, please.
Boom. There you go, Michelle.
You watch a lot of
Latest episode
TV.
Shameless.
See?
You watch a lot of
That's
TV.
what women want. I mean, I like
Look-
Alexa. I really do.
That's not
but
Alexa.
that's what women want. They want to hear that. Like, Mike.
Women don't want.
Try it again. Do something a little bit. See, push the limits a little
Push
bit here,
the
Michelle.
limits.
Because so far, I don't want to buy one of these things. I could go turn the TV off by myself. I mean, I'm so bored. Mike bores me. Sorry, Mike, you bore me.
Mike bores you?
Mike bores me. He might sound cool because he has an English accent. Let me tell you what. Here we go. Here we go. Let me try. Let me try this.
telling you
Hold
things
on.
that's
Hold
real-
on. This is my show. Let me turn me to
Turn me down.
Mike.
Hello, Chuck.
Simon says Michelle can kiss your ass.
Michelle can kiss your ass.
Mike.
Hello, Chuck.
Simon says Jimmy can't drive worth crap.
Simon says Jimmy's a shitty driver.
Mike?
Hello, Michelle.
Simon says Chuck's sleeping in the podcast room tonight.
Simon says 5 3/4 is the average length of a male penis.
All right, Mike. Nice talking to you.
Thanks, Mike.
Oh, Lord.
Chuck, and don't feel bad.
Maybe I do want to buy one of those things. They're pretty witty.
I want a mic.
Oh, that's good stuff.
You have Alexa. I want Mike.
Could you imagine having that thing battling out back and forth in the house like that?
I got that Google. I have
Goodbye,
Google Home.
Mike.
We should bring Google and Alexa in
We
next
need and
couple
then have
weeks.
Siri also come in and,
Yeah.
and have them battle out to
Yep.
see we can have like
you
a
think
battle.
they could?
Oh, I know they could.
Battle?
Yeah. Yeah, because I have my Alexa in Colt's room, and then the Google's in the living room, and we'll. What's freaky is every once in a while Google will just answer you. Like Colt was asking me a bunch of questions the other night. We didn't even address Google, and she just started ripping off answers.
That's
Really?
a little messed up.
Alexa
I don't
does
know that
that
I want that.
sometimes. Alexa will
Yeah,
talk
see,
in the
I
middle
don't
of the
have
night.
any of that.
Well, I mean, last night
Yeah.
for
No
whatever
way.
last night for whatever reason we had some network problems in the house. Okay. Now listen, this is what I don't understand about myself. If it doesn't work, if I say Alexa and it doesn't answer and it comes up with the red or something, I'll fiddle with I'll ask her about 10 times and I'll answer more and more, loud. But then I'll start turning off and unplugging every wire in the house. I'm like, listen, 15 minutes ago it was just fine. Somehow in 15 minutes, a gremlin came in the house and started switching all these wires around. That's why I have to try to fix them right now. But all I have to do is just wait for a little bit because that's just how the IT works and things.
Hey, this is funny.
See, about the first time that Alexa answered me, that I wasn't directing her,
Mm-hmm.
she'd ate a bullet.
Dang.
I promise you.
Dang.
Yeah, I don't know.
Everything.
I think there's key words. I don't know if I said. I mean, it could have been myself or Colt because our Google knows my voice, Megan's voice.
Oh, is it map it to?
Yeah. Like who? Because Megan can say, "Call my mom," and it will.
Okay.
Sometimes Chuck and I'll be in the kitchen having a conversation, and Alexa, she just like bursts out into this Wikipedia of
Yeah.
some
Really?
foreign country
No
and
way,
telling
man.
us all
Yeah,
these,
see,
doesn't she?
You can
babe?
keep
I'd have
those.
shot her.
like all these
Screw that,
facts
man. I don't
and-
want that stuff. I want them listening.
Get ready to
all
call
the
Randy
time.
Scott. Hello, Bill Layton. Randy Scott's down in Florida. He's going to give us.
Did you see what Bill? This is funny.
Bill Layton.
Bill Layton said, "Chuck, you're going to end up on the couch tonight." And Anthony Morgan said, "No worries, Bill. She doesn't want him peeing on the couch."
Speaking of the couch, the other night, Michelle she snores like a hog. Do you have a problem with somebody
wait a second.
that sleeps in the same sort of room with you that just snores all night? It drives me insane.
Yeah, you.
Right. I do not.
Thank you, Erica.
Wayne Worth said when his Alexa doesn't work, he goes Mount Vaughn Haggerty.
Oh,
Dang it. Out of all people that would have to do that, it would have to be Wayne Worth and Vaughn Haggerty. You can see him fight the hurricane this weekend when he says, "Hello, Alexa." He says, "Kiss my ass, I'm Vaughn Haggerty." Watch Vaughn Haggerty this weekend down in Mooresville, North Carolina. You get your tickets now at 681-222-7646 as he fights Florence all the way to the bank. Where we'll sell you the whole seat, but you only need the edge. And maybe a life preserver to go. It's Vaughn Haggerty on the shore in North Carolina. Vaughn Haggerty.
Chili Bun Barnett.
The monster.
I love that guy. I thought he was supposed to come in here one night.
Listen, he should, because if we did, we're all going to be hoarse because the entire show is going to be nothing about Vaughn Haggerty.
Yeah, right.
You dig it? That's what I'm saying.
Go ahead and call Randy up. But before that, the thing is snoring like a hog, right?
Yeah.
So Michelle, she snores.
Like
She
that
has.
term.
She snores loudly.
And
She
so
doesn't like the hog.
Chuck.
So the other night,
Disrespectful,
the other night I
but-
woke up and said, "Listen, I got to go to bed." And listen, just make sure I'm up at 1 o'clock. I have to wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then I go to work. I was like, just do me a favor.
so
Just
terrible.
do me a favor. Make sure I am up at 1 a.m. so I can go to work. Because I go out and I have to sleep I can't sleep on the couch because the couch just isn't comfortable for me.
Yeah.
It's so I slept on the floor, right? So I slept on the floor, I think 2 nights in a row. The first night because I was a bad boy. Second night, I think it's because I dropped that tea in there.
Oh, I shouldn't. Yeah, that's exactly when you drop the tea.
Yeah, the
That
first
was
night.
Sunday night,
And
yes.
the second night was when I heard this.
Drop the tea.
Everybody close your eyes. If you're watching, everybody close your eyes. That includes you, Michelle. Everybody close your eyes. No, you're going to listen right
will
now.
you pay back for this? Well, I know you're lying because I didn't even know who Mike was until tonight.
We're going to find out
So
who Mike is
you're
right now.
constantly not telling
Call
the
up
truth.
Mike Randy Scott real quick. He's the one that said it.
He's on.
Randy
You know-
knows. Randy knows something that I don't know.
You
Well,
sit
whatever.
there and talk about mom snoring,
Thank
but
you,
your
Erica.
snoring
Yeah,
is
that's
10 times louder because every night I have to fall asleep before you guys do. 'Cause I won't sleep.
Okay, so that was Erica over there. No, go ahead.
Is it like a harmony of snoring?
Randy, are you on here?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
right.
Hey, Chuck
okay.
and crew.
I'm sorry,
How y'all
Randy.
doing?
Good. Hi,
Not too
buddy.
bad. Busy flapping his jaw.
We're sitting here because Erica was just jamming on me for snoring, and I say I don't snore. She says I absolutely do snore.
Definitely does.
Well, I was going to address snoring from females.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Absolutely. Knock yourself out. I'm with you.
Well, you know, if the female snore, there's a hotness coefficient that goes into that, and the tolerance rate goes up when the hotness rate does too.
You know what? Absolutely. You know, I love a mathematician, and you know, it's sort of like dealing with redheads and crazy. There's a certain amount. I mean, there's like you go, okay, you're a redhead. I know you're naturally going to be crazy, but how much of that crazy am I going to have to deal with? I mean, how much? I mean,
Well,
how much of a handicap
Depends
do you
upon
get?
how much you bring out of us.
Depends on how hot, and you know, Michelle is up there, so there you go.
Oh, wow, Randy, you just got some points there.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Well, hey, when you guys gonna come visit?
Well, you know what? We're going to be. I don't know when we're going to be. We're going to be in Fort Lauderdale in about 4 weeks for just.
Well, and the airport.
Until we fly out again.
Like I think there's a 50
you're
minute.
going
I
to
think
the
we have a
Caribbean,
50
right?
minute delay in Fort Lauderdale.
We're going down to Cancun. Well, you know, I've never been a big. I've never really wanted to leave the country too much. I've always been kind of crazy about that for whatever reason.
I'm the same way.
Yeah,
Chuck.
I'm not been a big real fan of that. So when we had our first anniversary coming up, and we had 3 choices. I was like, okay, we're going to have this contest of where we're going to go to celebrate this. I'll have my 3, you have your 3, and honest to goodness, whoever wins, that's where we'll go. And somehow magically, every single one of the things that Michelle picked was out of the country, and everything that I picked was in country. I wanted to go to the Pacific Northwest. I would love to go over there. Maybe a cruise around Florida. Maybe even go over from Florida on the Gulf side over to Alabama or something. You know,
But
just,
I was winner chicken dinner.
yeah. So she won somehow. Now listen, Randy. She actually picked the winner, and she was the winner. Strangely enough,
We did it live.
we did it live.
I did not cheat.
So that's how. So I was like, okay, well, you honest to goodness, you won fair and square. First anniversary, we're going to do whatever you want, and we ended up we're going to go down to Cancun.
Chuck, may I say something?
You absolutely can.
Whoever has the vagina always wins.
That's true.
It's true.
Well, then I should win all the time because I'm always giving in. I'm the always one crying.
No, Chuck
I'm the only one
did he say-
cooking, cleaning. I mean, I'm doing laundry all the time. I'm doing it all. Taking a cat for walks. I'm doing all kinds of crazy
He
shit.
said whoever
around here.
has one, not
I do,
acts
I
like
do that
one.
stuff too, buddy. It's just smoother path, happy wife, happy life, and all that stuff.
Yeah, you can
Hey,
either.
you remember when we were Brent Harris and I were on your show?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, so you know, Brent has called and invited us. I think we're going to get down to the British Virgin Islands in
Oh yeah.
Oh,
He
nice.
goes down
February?
there a lot.
Nice.
yeah, and Yeah, well, if Christy can get off work, she's yelling from the other room.
Hey, listen,
And,
I'll do you a favor. I'll blow some of this cold that's going around down there now.
Well, I'll tell you what. It sounds like are you guys flooding? Do you have flooding conditions?
Yeah, listen, it's I mean that's what I was going to call and really ask you about, because there's really no. I mean, I guess there's always a chance, but this Florence deal, it's kind of well north of you to the east. There's no chance of it hitting Florida, is there?
Nah, no. But what they're predicting is big surf, and we kind of hope for that because our beach has been terraced. If you know what I mean, there's like flat surf, terrace, flat surf, terrace, and since the hurricanes, Matthew and Irma,
right?
And so what we're hoping for is some lesser kind of a storm that still packs some punch to flatten our beaches out again and bring our white sand back, because we don't have that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how nature works. I mean, there's a reason. I mean, when they even talk about that, like in the Delta down in like New Orleans and in Louisiana, when they started trying to contain the Mississippi, all these years the Mississippi was there to kind of flood. It was designed to flood through nature anyway, and to bring all this nutrients to the earth and everything. But it doesn't do that anymore too much because they tried to contain it.
Yeah.
Right. Huge buffer. And, Christy and I, a couple of weeks ago, went over to Sanibel Island on the west coast of Florida. And it was, it's fantastic. It's a beautiful place. And there's all these signs up about congestion and all this stuff. And I would stick my head out the window and go, hello, hello, hello. It would just echo. There's no one there. And there were literally, I would take a pace and count fish. And there were probably like 40 dead fish per pace, per step.
That's the red tide, right?
Yeah,
red tide.
Randy, what the hell is this? I mean, I keep seeing this. By the way, hello, Sarah over at Marietta. What is the red tide? Because I see all this. I mean, I guess it's just like a cycle or a nature thing. It's nothing man-made, but it's just. I mean, I don't even know.
No, it's man-made.
Oh, okay.
And
okay.
I have a friend also that has he's a firefighter, but he also has a chartered fishing business in the Chesapeake Bay. And so what happens is they release water from, there's a place near the Maryland-Pennsylvania border called Conowingo Dam. And whenever they release water from Conowingo, it's got all these backed up fertilizers and crap in there, runoff.
Oh,
shit that we don't think that really impacts anything, but it really does when it's concentrated. And they have red tide in the Chesapeake Bay, and it's going on now, but not to the extent that it's going on, on the west coast of Florida. And so basically, I'm not sure which dam that is. Christy, do you know?
It's not a dam, it's Lake Okeechobee.
Well, it's Lake Okeechobee, and so they release that water out of there, and all that fertilizer and all that man-made crap goes out. And there's been a fish kill of unimaginable portions. And we spoke to a public works employee. Mm-hmm. He walked out there, on Sanibel, you pay to park, you pay to do pretty much anything. And there's nowhere ever to park or anything. And they've just got bags over the parking stuff. And, please come. We would, be glad to have your business. And it's bad. And so when Christy and I were down there, I'm not sure how far it is around the island, but it's right across the bridge from Fort Myers Beach, Florida. And oh my God, you couldn't breathe. You would take a breath, you would cough and stuff. And I don't have any respiratory problems, but there was a 5-foot tarpon washed up on the beach.
Oh, really?
A 500-pound Goliath grouper washed up on the beach. It's killing manatees.
Everything.
It's killing dolphins. It's bad. It is bad.
It's like 6 weeks in too, isn't it, Randy?
But I'll tell you one thing, and I hate to even give you this kind of an analogy.
Okay.
But it's like when anyone does a faceplant off the New River Gorge Bridge, you never hear about it because it affects tourism, and so they're really. Yeah, they're really downplaying the extent of this, but it is bad. It is really bad.
That's horrible.
So,
well, it almost makes you wonder, like, when they a few years ago when what was the hurricane that hit New Orleans when it tore up all the wells, the deep wells out there.
Was it Katrina?
Katrina. Okay, and then they put all those chemicals in the water to break up the oil.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like I'm thinking, okay, well that's got to do something. And they said no, it just kind of goes away. Now, there ain't no way in hell that just goes away.
Yeah, where does it go? It goes to the
It gets
bottom and
ingested.
affects sea life.
Well, you know, then this is a great question too, Randy, and then I will leave you off of here. But I've seen that, you know, you go through Facebook and you see these sponsored ads all the time. And one of them is fantastic that I find very ironic that, you know, when you go through the comments, because I love reading these comments. And one of them is for the Roundup thing. And it says, if you have been exposed to Roundup, you might be entitled to some sort of thing. Okay? Well,
Really?
Yeah. And the weird thing is, it shows a picture of a guy spraying lettuce. What it doesn't say is if you've ever eaten anything, you're owed something from Roundup, because it's talking about the guy spraying the lettuce, just not the people that actually ate that lettuce. Now, how bizarre is that?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'll tell you, I've never been like a staunch environmentalist, and I had 10 years in the underground coal mines, and you know, I just always was about jobs. Let's put our people to work, but the things we do can affect our environment.
Sure. Well, there's got to be a 50-50 sort of thing.
There's got to be a 50-50, and I'm not saying, you know, George Carlin had the best thing, and I would recommend everyone to YouTube George Carlin's thing on the environment. He's like, look, you know, we're just a speck here. Yeah, we're going to be long gone, and the Earth's still going to be here.
He said it perfect.
Fine.
Well, there's one of two things are going to happen. We're going to make this place good so we can live here, or the Earth will somehow evolve to the point to where we won't live here because it'll take care of it.
Yep.
I mean, one or the other.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I think eventually that will happen because you know, I've heard it said and read it that 99% of everything that has ever lived on the planet is now extinct. Really, so you know. Yeah, at one time we will be too. So let's make the best. Let's make the best of what we got, brother.
Listen, that's why we're going to come down and do some surfing during a hurricane down in Florida, baby.
Yeah.
Sweet.
You ought to hear the rain here right now.
Oh, it's pouring it down.
Yeah,
We're going to have flash
floods. We've had 3 inches of rain in the last 24 hours. Is what.
Oh my God, that's tremendous for West Virginia.
Yeah, Fairmont's had 5 inches and Grafton's had 6. So. It's,
you know, I don't know if you guys remember '85, but the '85
flood,
Hurricane Juan, we got like 5 inches of rain over, I don't know, 2 days on top of already, you know, rain-soaked soils.
Yeah.
And it caused all that shit. And so, you know, when I look at this forecast, it looks like that hurricane that's going to hit Charleston may end up there, and you guys are already soaked. You know, you can't handle it.
Saturated.
It's been saturated all summer. It's never had a chance to dry out.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
Well, listen, I love you guys. Love listening to your show. Thanks for including me tonight. I appreciate it.
Randy, we'll see you soon. We never we never did even talk to you about who Mike is because you have some kind of inside track, but we'll leave that for next time. That'll be our ongoing joke.
That's that damn Siri with her autocorrect.
Shit. All right. Hey, Randy, nice talking to you, brother. I'll see you
buddy.
soon.
Yes.
Bye, Randy.
Thank you, guys. Talk to you soon.
Randy Scott all the way down from Florida, Daytona Beach, Florida.
Yeah.
You know what?
Ormond by the sea.
Yeah. I was going to say Daytona. I always
Well, I mean, that's...
right there. Right, same
area.
Cool cat, too, by the way. And wealth of knowledge. Whenever you talk to Randy, and I didn't know that about the red tide when he's talking about the stuff over there, the massive scale that we don't know about.
Right.
It's kind of like the murders that you hear about in Cancun or about 1/10 of what that are really happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I know whenever the baseball team went to Florida, they some of the families who went there who stayed beachfront in Fort Myers, they got partial or a lot of their money back because of that red tide.
Are they shutting the beaches down? Surely you can't swim in that.
some areas. I don't know if they've opened it back up. It sounds like they were still shut down the way Randy was talking.
Yeah. When you were living down in Mobile, I mean, did they ever shut that shit down because of that?
Mainly the bay. Like if the Mobile Bay area, you'd have a lot of bacteria back up in there, and they would put out advisories not to swim and whatnot, and stuff.
Did you see dead fish though? Like same thing or no?
No, they have this thing, and there's only 2 places in the world. And the other place I think is actually in Japan, and it's called a jubilee. And what happens is every so often. The waters, the oxygen and everything in the bay gets so, I guess, at critical levels, and the water gets, you'll see it, the water gets real still, and all the fish and crabs and everything will just come out and beach themselves. And people watch for this because what they do is they have bells on the people that live by the shore, and they'll ring these things, and people come running down with coolers and stuff, and they just fresh crab, fish, bang,
Oh,
bang, bang,
yeah.
bang, 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 bang.
Because I guess they're not getting oxygenated.
Yeah, so they just come up to the shore and you just pick up everything, man. It's
Because the
kinda
whole part
crazy.
of like fishing through. I mean, when you're fishing water, you're moving, so the water goes through the gills, and then
Right.
you're picking up the
Crazy.
oxygen.
See,
and then
we're
there's
gonna
no
learn
oxygen.
all this stuff when we when we live by the ocean.
I want to be one of those trainers down there. What are they? Oceanographers. I want to work for NOAA.
Yeah, no, that's where I get all my weather.
Listen, I could. Let me tell you something. I'd make the biggest ass boat you'd ever seen, and I'd have every
need a bigger boat.
So which Noah are you wanting to?
No,
to work for?
NOAA.
Yeah, there we go.
Mike's brother. Mike's brother. No.
Yeah, Mike's brother Noah.
Yeah, Mike's brother. No. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and. Is there anything that I'm missing here?
I like every time it shows me, there's a freaking T-Rex in
Bruce's
seat
chair.
next to
Yeah, Bruce is in there. Oh, yeah, by the way, this is a very important update.
Poor Brucey's not
Getting
feeling
back to, in the beginning, we used to drink Miller High Life. That was the big drink. So
Yeah.
then Michelle comes along, and it turns into Miller Light.
Yeah.
Because it was just so easier. It was like, okay, I'm going to buy some beer. I'm going to buy the High Life, and you like the Miller Light, which I don't care for. But, and then eventually it's just like, okay, we're just going to, buy the Miller Light.
Right.
Well, we're past the Miller Light. I'm past the Miller Light, and I hope you are too.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So what we're doing now, we're going back old school.
Uh-oh.
We're going Pittsburgh, baby.
Oh my goodness!
We got the
Light.
Icy Light. Now, if I could find 30 packs of Iron City somewhere,
Yeah.
I would buy it. But around here, it's just Icy Light. So it's all Iron City Light around here. And in the nice Pittsburgh Pirate cans,
Yeah.
by the way.
That's what it meant was Iron City Light.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what I'm saying.
it does.
It
But
does.
he's talking not light beer.
Yeah, I'm talking about the regular
Regular
Iron
Iron
City. Red
City.
label. Regular white and red label.
I didn't know they made
the regular
that.
Iron, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Did you know this, though, where the, what was the beer that they made in Latrobe?
Rolling Rock.
Rolling Rock.
Rolling Rock.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think Coors bought Rolling Rock, and they took the Rolling Rock out of there. So it's not actually from Latrobe anymore. You know what's being brewed in Latrobe right now?
No.
Iron City.
Oh really?
Yeah.
No
Oh
kidding.
wow.
Yeah, so it's
I just hope they keep making.
it's
a
actually
whole
not
big
in
bunch of
Pittsburgh
it.
anymore. It's out in Latrobe.
Yeah. Well, I mean it's close enough.
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Latrobe.
As long as
Home
they
Do you
of
like
Arnold
Yingling?
Palmer.
Do you like Yingling?
I don't like any beer, dude.
Oh, I know.
I like
you
Um,
don't.
beer.
As
Yeah,
far
you
as
know,
Yingling
I
goes,
have
I like
friends
the
that
black
work-
and tan.
The Black and Tan Yingling?
Yeah, I love it.
Well, the first
Yeah.
Black and Tan I ever had was a Bud Light and Guinness.
Oh yeah, Guinness.
Yeah.
What'd they
well,
put
it's
in that?
actually, I think it's
Guinness
Guinness and Smittix.
Yeah. I don't
It
know.
sounds like a hell of a
I
law
think-
firm.
Yeah.
If I remember
Guinness
right.
and Smittix. You know what? I should have hired them a long time ago.
You ought to hire them as investigators to find out what happened to the bed.
Or find out what the who the hell Mike.
Exactly.
Mike's the one that pissed in
Mike's
the
the
bed.
one.
Mike
Mike
Whittier.
was
Mike. I
You know
never
what,
even
Mike
met
m-
Mike until tonight. You keep talking about
Well, it
it.
was dark. How do you know?
I didn't even
Yeah.
know about him until tonight.
Maybe Chuck's doing something that you don't know about.
What the hell does that mean? What am I doing wrong?
What? Fill me
Maybe
in.
you know Mike before she did.
Oh, you're
Oh,
saying.
look at this.
No, wait a minute. There's a twist in the
now
story.
Todd's getting jealous.
Now there's a twist in the story. Now all of a sudden,
Uh-oh.
Mike has nothing to do with Michelle. Mike has everything to do with Chuck.
Exactly.
That's great. The story continues. We'll drop it off there.
Tune in next
mystery.
week.
On behalf of the missing Chad Puccio and Todd Beck and Bruce Takahashi, hope Brucey feels better. And
Feel better, Brucey?
Yeah, he's got the
Oh,
what's
he's
going on.
fine. He commented and said that he's in Japan with Godzilla and he's fighting in the Pacific Coast.
Yeah, he's fighting. He's fighting the red tide over there in
Yeah,
Japan,
he is.
boy. That's why we're getting all over here. Great news. Listen, that's not red. That's not poison coming over here, Randy. That's blood from all the shit that Bruce is killing over in Japan coming in the currents.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I want to thank you, darling, for coming in. You're the
Thank you,
co-host
baby.
and
This
the
is a
Chewbacca
hard
share.
seat to sit in.
Well, that's
I don't
because
really-
Todd has that bicycle
Remember
seat
when
with
we
no
used to
seat on
end
it.
the show and we didn't
Yeah,
have
it's
like
more
an official
comfortable back
ending?
there.
Yeah.
So we'd just turn the sound down. And all of us would happen to come up with different stuff to do in front of the stupid
Yeah.
camera at the,
Yep.
till
We
the
need to do that
ending.
again. We need to do that again. Listen, what was funny?
Do you remember the last show in the room in there?
Yeah.
And we all did the dances in front of the camera. Jimmy
I didn't
went
do
by
anything.
about 52 times in front of that camera.
Oh yeah, that's right. I do remember.
If you ever go back,
that was
listen.
the greatest
It,
ever.
it's hard for me to actually go back and and listen to some of the early stuff because originally before Facebook Live was actually on the computer before you could do that. The only way you could do that was on the cell phone. So we had this little it was a couple nails in the corner of the wall
Yeah.
in fishing line, and we held the phone up there and we kind of rigged a system up to where we could take the audio out of the mixer to plug it into the phone so you could hear everything.
We had all these like
Yeah,
cables all jacked up.
Listen, and now it's turned into this hot mess. Then you can actually do that. So then when we switched to studios again, we switched it like 4 or 5 times. But that the last time we used to have some crazy
That was the
junk.
finale of
Listen,
that.
it doesn't matter how primitive it was. That episode where freaking you first puked on or were yelling is probably the best episode.
Charlie
and we get
Sars!
the most feedback from that episode.
Yeah, it was
Charlie
pretty crazy.
Sars down in South Myrtle. Hello,
Don't worry,
Charlie.
I didn't say nothing bad.
I'm glad. No, that's what I mean.
No, please don't.
I'm just telling you which one.
Yeah.
Let's not start.
I like Charlie. I haven't seen Charlie or talked to Charlie for a long time.
He's
done-
in South Myrtle Beach.
Yes, he is. Love that dude. CMR
I wonder if
over
he's
there.
gonna. I wonder if he's gonna stay until the hurricane.
You know, it's coming up too, though, don't you?
What's coming up?
It's October, and we do a lot of the
No. You know
ghost
what?
hunts. And
You know
all
what?
that
It's
stuff.
time.
Yep.
It's
It's time.
The tunnels.
You know what?
We got to do ghost
Ding, ding,
hunt,
ding.
man.
It's time.
No, listen. I'm glad you said. No, listen. This is serious shit because it went over my head. You know what's next week?
No.
Anniversary for this podcast.
Oh, really?
Is it?
Is it next week?
Mm-hmm.
How many years is that? It's like 3, 4.
Oh God, I
Just
don't know.
four.
We'll wait till the next week after. We'll just.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we
but
normally do.
yeah.
So are we back on
2015.
what are we doing here?
2 weeks. Well, yeah. Once the boat gets out of the water, which will be when the hurricane comes by and lifts it up.
Yeah.
And hopefully it drops it off in the front yard. Hopefully.
So we don't have to go trailer it and all
So
that.
around October, like we're still on summertime schedule now.
Yep.
But then say around October, so a couple weeks because we'll be in Cancun and then all that stuff.
Yeah,
So,
So
then,
wait,
it's about the same time
So you're-
because The Walking Dead comes back on October
Oh, that
7th.
shit.
And then,
yeah.
so
So
yeah.
wait, so what
All right.
week are you going?
And this is us.
It's in October, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna have to figure out when we're gonna do like our annual like
Halloween
either tunnel, whatever we're gonna
Well,
do.
Halloween, yeah, and
Any
the ghost
something for
hunts.
Halloween.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Are you guys up to stay like say all night? Say like
Yeah.
We're
okay,
at.
like
know,
maybe.
I
Well,
got
we,
enough
we can
stuff
go to
too.
Moundsville or we can go down to Weston at the Trans Allegheny.
Oh, yeah. Well, we still got to do that one amusement park one.
Down at Lake Shawnee.
Down there, Preston County?
Look
at this.
Not Preston.
Get it, lick it,
Princeton?
eat it.
No, it's probably got West.
It's a
Nile.
pecker nap.
I got
West
one. I got
It's a
one
mosquito.
corpse over here.
Listen,
You got one too?
So
Yeah.
real quick though, would you rather stay in Moundsville or at the prison,
Woo.
or would you rather stay down at Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum?
The
down in
lunatic
Mount-
asylum, man.
The Lunatic Asylum's close. It's a lot closer.
Yeah.
I will say this: been to both of them, stayed all night at both of them. The Moundsville, as far as the prison goes, much cooler of a place. For the mere fact is, when you go down to the Lunatic Asylum. Now listen,
I'd do either one because I've never been to either one.
well, to come over here and do this. But anyway, no. But anyway, in reality though, we caught most of the crazy things down in Weston at the
Yeah, you
at the
would,
Luna,
too.
and there were some crazy things. We also caught some crazy things up in Moundsville. But the cool thing about Moundsville is it's a prison, so you have all you can. I mean, there's all these different. There's nothing the same when you go down to Weston. This corridor looks the same as this corridor, which looks the same as this corridor, which looks. I mean, it's all kind of uniform. You know what I mean? But it's close.
Well,
I mean, you're like,
That's as far as
Research, too,
as far as looks go. But you imagine the
no, listen.
the junk you can pull out
listen,
of that place,
I'm
man.
going to tell you this about, and this is honest God's truth. And people believe in
Them-
spirits.
That
People
place
don't.
like that weird me out bad.
Well, I will tell you this. Brian Forty, one of my lifelong
Yep.
friend, we grew up together. The first friend I ever had when we moved to Shinson, actually. And he was in Fast Company. He's doing FBI jazz. You know, he just does all this stuff. So nothing really spooks him. Not like this dumb shit like Bumps in the Night or something like that. So we go down to Weston. It's the check it out on Google or YouTube. Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. And we go up to one of the floors there, and they're having this seance because people are kind of stupid. I don't really, I put salt
yeah,
in
I
my
don't get
hair.
into all that.
You know,
Yeah,
I don't invite
Right.
anything.
Yeah, right.
Because you know what?
You ain't bringing that shit
Yeah,
home.
because you know what? It's one
No
thing
way.
to watch the ghost hunters do it, but they kind of know what they're doing. If you don't know what you're doing,
Right.
then
It'll
you know
latch
what-
on.
Yeah, because you're dumb enough to let it do that.
Yeah.
Right.
And I can tell you this: when we went up to Salem and stuff, it's that they really believe that stuff up there.
Oh, Salem, yeah. Salem
So, but
is
anyway,
scary.
back to the point. We're in this hallway, and I'm in dead center of this hallway watching these people do this seance. Brian is to my left, in it like standing in a doorway. Okay, now I'm behind him. Say I'm looking straight down this hallway, maybe like 2 feet off from where that door starts on the left, and Brian's in this hallway the door frame. The next thing I know, they're talking about one of these spirits, because they have gods that go with you, that's somebody that knocks you or has been known to play these pranks or whatever. He was like mutilated and killed, by the when they're psychological, they tore him up. Anyhow, about that, it was like 1:20 in the morning is when it normally happens. Next thing I know, Brian falls in front of me, and he gets up and he's pissed off. He's not scared. He's pissed off at me for hitting him.
Uh-oh.
He's pissed off. He's ready to fight, and we've been friends forever. He's pissed off. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, why in the heck would you do that? I was like, do what? He goes, you just hit me in the back and knocked me in the front. I was like, dude, I'm standing to your front. To your right. I'm in the hallway 2 feet away from you. I wasn't even in that room behind you. How did I hit you? Because I'm in the hallway. So how did I hit you from the back? So it was like, what time was somebody was like, what time is it? 1:20, right when that guy was supposed to hit. He freaking hit Brian, knocked him on his ass. And we have a picture down that hallway when I was taking pictures, because about that time you catch something, and I swear to God, I'll have to find it. There is a face like you would not believe, and it's no magic hocus pocus to kind of junk. There is a face, and you will see it plain as day. That's down at Weston, Trans-Allegheny
Well, I'm
Lunatic.
going to do a little research, and we're going to plan some stuff.
So two things would be: one, are we gonna have other people come along again this time, or is it just gonna be Rogan Radio crew? And then two, we ought to do a Rogan Radio night somewhere like Fright Farm or someplace that's more publicized.
Yeah,
and
that would be
goes a
fun.
group with shirts and stuff.
Yeah, that would be fun too.
Do a couple.
Huh?
We can do a ghost.
You can do one with everybody and one with you
We'll
guys.
do a ghost. Let's do down at Weston, because that's, like I said, it's only 40 minutes away. So depending on what people's work schedules are,
Because
we'll
if
go
there's
down there.
people nearby that want to go, they can go.
Yeah,
with us,
yeah, we can do that, and then we'll go to like a Fright Farm or a hayride or something like that. Hoedown. I love those hoedowns.
Why'd you look at Michelle?
Because I love to hoe down on the mountain. I loved it. There's a place in Webster County that's my favorite. It's called Adams Farm. But anyways, you can get up on the top of the mountain. You have to get there by four-wheeler. We rode up there. I took Chuck. Finally got to take Chuck last weekend. And you get up there. And
I
it's
agree, Kelly.
Top of the world. It is. You can look down and see all the. It is beautiful. You feel like you're on the top of the world. And the only thing I want to do up there is hoe down. Because
Listen, the only thing I want to know is, were you driving the four-wheeler and was he holding on scared like a little girl?
Well, I'll tell you how well Chuck did mudding last weekend.
Go ahead. Tell them the truth.
I'll tell you how well he did.
I am not afraid of the truth. The truth will set you free.
He did so well.
Thanks for asking, Jimmy.
We bought our own four-wheeler today.
Yes. Very good.
What?
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing our own mudding.
See, that's even better.
Doesn't Brad Paisley have a song about that?
I guess.
About mudding? Anyhow, no, one thing that I can tell you about Michelle when she drives a four-wheeler, you always have to hold on, and you always have to pay attention to what's happening. Like, I would look around at the hills down in Webster and all that, because it's beautiful down there. I mean, you talk about runoff. I mean, I can see where there would be flash floods because the hills are so high. When it would rain, you get so much down there. Anyway, because she would see a mud puddle, and that would be like a pedophile looking at a kid. It's because she was like... Horrible example.
That's not really a good That's not really a good analogy there, buddy.
Horrible example. Horrible. But she would... but she would hit the gas so hard to go through those mud puddles, and it would almost throw me off, and mud would be flying everywhere. And I was like, "Oh, you could just give me a little bit of warning." And about that time, she'd do it again.
Oh my goodness!
If you see water, that's your warning.
Listen,
if you see a mud puddle, that's your warning.
That's what I mean. I had to quit looking around, and I had to start paying attention to where you were driving. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and shut this show down. Shut it down.
Shut it all down.
But once again, on behalf of Chad and Todd and Brucey, who couldn't make it, we would like to thank you for listening. On behalf of Cindy and Darren down there, they're in love. Oh, that's good. Old man, even though he turned 50. Hey, listen.
50,
hey, Cindy, if you ever need a young buck, a little bit younger, listen, I'm 2 years younger.
No, Chuck's 82.
Dang it.
Wow.
Yeah, but congratulations on making the 50. I'll be happy if I do that. Because I'll tell you what, sometimes I wonder.
Hey.
I'm about 30
Glad you got
years
married
past
now.
where
You
I
probably
wa-
didn't.
I'm about 30 years past where I thought I was going to make
I
it
know,
to.
right?
Glad you got married now. You probably don't have much time left.
No doubt.
Hope your life insurance is paid up.
That's horrible.
What do they call it? Life insurance. They should be death insurance. That's the only time you can collect.
Oh, jeez.
And we have Erica over there, and we also have D-Mac running for House of Delegates.
Yay.
Can we say that?
Yeah, you can say
Yeah,
that.
House of Delegates. When you see them on
Damn
the ballot,
right.
make sure. Damn right.
Yeah.
And new shirts and koozies. Once again,
Yep.
throw that
Throw
thing
one
up there, by the way.
Oh, look at this one.
Yeah, this one right. Yeah, this right here has a new icy light in it.
Yeah.
By the way, there you go. Look
Yeah,
for those.
absolutely.
Go ahead. What's the what's your
so go to right now? So that's the good material there.
Yeah.
Facebook /McIntyre the number 4 house. That's the Facebook page. But we're getting ready to have a bunch of stuff that's getting ready to kick off. So
he's got it full blown now, boy.
Yep,
we're getting in the season.
We're in there. So
all right.
Yep.
McIntyre for the House of Delegates.
In 48 districts. That's all of Harrison.
Hey, first time I met Chuck, I did a commercial for
you. Did. I know. And the outtakes are the best.
How funny is that? Aren't they right?
Yeah.
You know what? That is crazy.
It's a good thing we don't have a bloopers reel for this show.
To give you a little hint of how weird the world is, when the DMAC, we were talking about doing the Fireman's Parade.
Right.
And this was for the Frontiers Days Parade in Shinson, which was about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
The first time I've ever laid eyes on Michelle was that particular day. Todd and I got off of work, and we were driving down because we had the drone, and we were going to go in. And all of a sudden, we saw Gloria, and then we saw Michelle. I had no idea who Michelle existed. I mean, I had no idea. So then we started talking on Facebook, and all this stuff.
We met that day, though.
Yeah, we met that day. That day. And then, so anyway, the story goes on a little bit longer to where, oh, by the way, that's your memory card back there behind it. Okay, so anyhow, so then DMAC runs for the House.
Yep.
And then I was like, well, you know what? I got the perfect person to be in this commercial.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, Michelle and Gloria are in the commercial. Little did I know, and how lucky I am to have you as my wife now.
See?
See?
Glad he didn't record the stuff he told us.
And it wasn't. And listen, it wasn't too long after that I was never allowed to do any more videos, and I got the cameras all busted up, and the drone got thrown away in the fire because everything else. That's totally
had to build a new studio.
But seriously, we need to show those bloopers sometime.
Oh, they are good.
They are hilarious.
They are. It's pretty good stuff.
No, boy, you know what? Too bad we can't air some of them because some of them are funny.
Right.
Some of them are funny.
Well, hopefully we can get another one. So
yeah. So anyway, on behalf of us, thanks for listening. Be sure to share it and like it. Tell all your friends and neighbors and family about it. And until next week or the week after, whenever we get back on the air, ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to Rogan Radio.